What makes lesbians so appealing? I have a few ideas in mind. You might say that I'm biased because I identify as a lesbian. However, I know how to be objective in my observation. As a life coach, I learn a lot of different perspectives from people. I do coach lesbian women, but I also coach anyone, regardless of their sexual orientation or their sex or gender. And I hear various things, but usually it boils down to the same belief or opinion. And I'm going to give you a little bit of insight on how men think of lesbians and how women think of lesbians. And I'll break down with women, heterosexual women, bisexual women, and lesbian women. So stay tuned throughout the entire video so you can get this wonderful information on why lesbians are so appealing. My name is Giselle Wallace, lesbian life coach and author. Please take a moment to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Now, why are lesbians so appealing to men? Heterosexual men will generally place lesbians on a pedestal because they know that women are not involved with men sexually. Men really value a woman's sexual hygiene. And what I mean by sexual hygiene is they like women who are not promiscuous. They like women who are virgins. And they like women who are very clean. And clean meaning she takes care of her body. She has very good hygiene. She smells good and she looks good. But also clean because she doesn't have any STDs, such as sexually transmitted diseases, or what they call STIs, sexually transmitted infections. And she tends to be a very faithful woman, faithful both emotionally, mentally, and sexually to her partner. It is an ideal fantasy for a man to be able to be with a lesbian because he knows that she will only be with women or she will not be with anyone at all sexually. And if he can have the opportunity to be with a lesbian, he knows that she's not going to be with another man. If she gives him a chance, then he thinks that she's only going to be with him. And lesbians are exclusively involved with women only. That is true. It is true that women do not get involved with men romantically, emotionally, and sexually when they identify as lesbians. And because we are not involved with men, these men are very fascinated by lesbians. Now, heterosexual women, the way they view lesbians could be twofold. You can have a heterosexual woman who is very well rounded, she's very self aware, and she appreciates all women. She doesn't feel like she's in competition with women, and she understands that there is more than one sexual orientation in the world, and it's not heterosexual. She understands that there are lesbians in the world, and heterosexual women who are able to be friends with lesbians realize that having a lesbian friend is a benefit. Why is it a benefit? It's a benefit because her lesbian friend usually has a different perspective in life because she experiences the world differently. And when a heterosexual woman has a friendship with a lesbian woman, then they are able to appreciate women empowerment, women diversity, and women inclusion. But the heterosexual woman who has a disdain for lesbians, she tends to be jealous of lesbian women, primarily because she feels that she's in competition with a lesbian. And the ironic part about that is lesbians are interested in women. So why would you be jealous of a woman who is interested in women? She's very supportive and she loves women. So why would you hate that about a woman? The other irony is a lot of heterosexual women are jealous and feel like they're in competition with lesbians because they know that heterosexual men pay a lot of attention to lesbians. And that bothers heterosexual women. She becomes jealous and envious of lesbians, and she tends to start a lot of conflict with lesbians. Lesbians are not interested in men romantically and sexually. So she should not be the target of a heterosexual woman's anger. But unfortunately, a lot of lesbians experience a lot of toxic energy from heterosexual women. So we really don't get to develop those friendships as we should as women. But if the heterosexual woman learns to be an independent thinker and realizes that her world does not have to revolve around being with a man and putting down other women to look better than other women, then she will be able to develop and attract very positive, empowering women in her life as friends. Now, bisexual women, how do they view lesbians? Bisexual women are very much into lesbians. And this is not often discussed. It's kind of like an elephant in a room, but bisexual women tend to favor dating and being involved romantically and sexually with women who identify as lesbians, more so than being involved with bisexual women. And interesting enough, it's similar to the reason why men are captivated by lesbians. I have heard from bisexual women that they think that lesbian women are very different from both heterosexual women and bisexual women. And they would know this because bisexual women date heterosexual women and they date bisexual women. So they would have a good idea on the differences and their their opinions about women and their sexual orientations. But a lot of bisexual women enjoy that lesbians usually think for themselves. They tend to live a life that is authentic because they understand that being lesbian or gay in a heteronormative society kind of makes them stand out. And they will use the intention, not attention in the sense of trying to be accepted, but the attention of being a smaller group. They will use that to their advantage because we want to be heard and we want to live a life that is true to ourselves, even though the majority of society wants to be one track minded and focus on being a heterosexual society. And the independence and the strength of a lesbian woman is very appealing to bisexual women. So they love that energy and that spirit about lesbians. But also, they believe that lesbians are pure, and pure in the sense of sexually pure. They're not promiscuous, they're not involved with men. So, bisexual women really appreciate the fact that lesbians are not sexually involved with men. I actually learned this myself. There was a woman, I thought she was heterosexual, but I later found out that she liked me and she let me know that she was interested in me. And I had no clue, but she really is bisexual. Even though she didn't say she's bisexual because she's attracted to men and she's attracted to women. And she stated that, and let me just say this, there are women who identify as pansexual and queer as well. But what I mean by she's bisexual is just to keep the video focused on sexual orientations of heterosexual, bisexual, and lesbians. I'm going to say that in this scenario that I experienced with the woman, she was bisexual, even though she didn't say she was bisexual. And the reason why she didn't claim to be bisexual is because she pretty much came from a very homophobic family. But she shared with me that she was interested in me romantically and sexually, and I was not. The feeling wasn't mutual. I was not attracted to her, but I considered her a dear friend. And she told me something that I'll always remember. She said, "Giselle, I like you because my uncle told me years ago the best kind of woman is to have a woman who keeps herself pure sexually. And that woman usually is a lesbian." And she told me this, and I found it very interesting, but she was saying that just the fact alone that you do not want a man and you are not involved with men sexually or in any kind of way turns me on. So she shared that with me, and I was surprised because I thought only men felt that way, but I learned that women feel that way as well. So lesbians are appealing, and it's ironic because we live in a heteronormative society which generally teaches that being lesbian or gay is not the way people are naturally wired. They believe that being heterosexual is the default sexual orientation, which is false. But all of this dogma that they push and try to brainwash you into believing that being lesbian or gay is not appealing, it's just what people say on the outside because they don't want to be judged. But what a person says on the outside is not necessarily how they truly feel on the inside. Because many people are very attracted to lesbians. And lesbians are very appealing, I agree. But at the end of the day, I just want you to know that regardless of your gender or your sex or your sexual orientation, we are all wonderful. We are uniquely and designed, made because we are to make an impact in this world. And if we do not let what society teaches us to deter us from being ourselves, then we will be doing well. So be yourself, love yourself, and know that you don't have to compete with anyone. And also understand that how a person sees you and views you does not determine who you are. So you don't have to rely on someone's opinion about you. You don't have to rely on their compliment or their criticism of you. Know yourself, love yourself, and you will have the ability to be attractive to everyone. Your attraction comes from within, your spirit, your character. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share my content. Have a beautiful day.